Last Sunday's epistle gave us St. Paul saying these words, I want to depart this life and go to be with Christ. I want to depart this life and go to be with Christ. Doesn't that sound like something we might say when things get really tough? I just want it all to be over right now. I'm ready to meet God. I'm ready to go to heaven. Or I'm ready. I've had enough struggles. Give me eternity right now. I know there have been moments in my life when I felt like St. Paul. I'm ready for what comes next. Maybe though, because we find ourselves in difficult situations, whether we're depressed or we're tired or we're sick or maybe going through some economic hardship or family crisis or the end of a relationship, the burden of caring for someone else. Maybe we feel like we can't take it anymore. We just want out. We just want it to be over. What would we do though if we really knew for certain that we only had a month or a year left to live? What changes would we make in our lives? What would we prepare ourselves in that interim time to do so that we're ready for that eternity? Would you call together your loved ones and say goodbye to each person? Would you take a trip to somewhere that you've always wanted to visit? Would you make a good confession? Isaiah calls the people in the first reading this past weekend back with the words, let the scoundrel forsake his way. Now, most of us probably don't consider ourselves to be scoundrels. In fact, our sins are likely to be those of habit. We do the same thing. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. And it's the same thing we confess the month before and the month before and the month before. But St. Paul has this desire, this strong desire to be with Christ. He says, for me to live is Christ. And that means everything else has to take second place. In fact, sometimes he calls it rubbish, where the real translation means the stuff that the cows leave in the field behind. Paul understood what mattered more than anything else. So this week, why not take a few minutes and do inventory? Can we see how much we are living for Christ and how we might be wasting our time on things that really don't matter, on the things that we would get rid of because we're focusing on eternity?